Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? How's it going? Welcome to Jumpstart Live. What's up, Miss Chanita, Miss Antoinette, Miss Joe, Stephanie Bodris? What's happening, Best Bank Senorita? Crystal, Miss Glenda, Tanisha, Miss Ernestine, Nikki, Tashara. Hey, Miss Iris, how you doing? Miss Angela, Miss Janet. Excuse me, Brother Chris. How are you, sir? Mike Riley, what's happening, my guy? How y'all doing this morning on this fine hump day? It is hump day. It's hump day. How's it going? What's up, Kimberly? How are you, ma'am? Maisha, Nakia, Isabel, Miss Malin, Miss Barbara, Miss Cheryl, Andrea, Gooseman. How are you? Tashad, what's up, TT? Miss Mary, I hope I said this right. Aramis, is it Aramis? Please let me know if I got that correct. Miss Yolanda. Oh, school. Okay. Y'all back in school, huh? I don't even know when school starts. What's up, Kurt? I have no idea when school even begins. Oh, I had to ask my son yesterday. Oh, it's August. Why are you still at my house? When do you leave? And he's like, "Oh, school starts on the 21st." I'm gonna be like, can you go back early? can you can you go back to school early? he's in, he's in his second year of college. No, he's doing well. But I didn't even. I'm like, man, when does it begin? It didn't begin already. Yeah, you more ready than the kids, huh? Yeah. Somebody say, I'll be so glad to stop hearing those gaming sounds from the other room. I'll be so glad to stop hearing, I got you. That's weak. Get out of here. And all that all night from the other room. Uh, so ready, y'all ready for those kids to go back? When does well, I don't need to know because I'm not taking it. I was about to ask y'all when tomorrow or it starts tomorrow. I was okay. All right. Well, hats off to all of the parents who are still in that season. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The kitchen closed. Summer is over. Right. Kitchen is closed. Summer is over. I know that's the truth. Somebody say, pray for us teachers. No, no, we pray for y'all Sunday. Listen, I'm not praying for the teachers no more. Y'all done had y'all fun. I don't listen, man. I don't. It's hard for me to feel bad for y'all teachers. Y'all get what 4 months off, 5 months? Y'all off for what 6 months, half the year? Huh? Y'all only have to go to work for like half a year, and you know what I mean? Come on, who has that kind of gig? I don't. Nobody else has that kind of gig except teachers. Yes, y'all are. Y'all off for like 6 months out the year and want somebody to feel bad for y'all. Yes, I'm talking to you, Nikki, Shaquisha Penn, Tashad, uh, Ariana, uh, Bailey. I'm talking to all y'all teachers. Y'all off for 6 months a year. Miss Tammy, how much pay you want them to get for 6 months work? Come on. They work a half a year. Huh? Let me stop. I'm being messy and I'm gonna get in trouble. Y'all know I'm just joking. I love all my they work half the year. Come on, think about it. They offer everything. Yeah, teachers tell the truth. Come on. They offer the whole summer. That's what, 3 months. And then they get 2 weeks for Thanksgiving, 2 weeks for Christmas, 3 weeks for Mardi Gras. Add all that up. Another 3 weeks for spring break. And then they're out for summer again. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. Look, everybody, you better stop. You making enemies. No. I want, all right. From now on, I don't have to deal with the students, but I have to deal with the parents. So I'm gonna be off from the church for the same amount of time that the teachers off from their jobs. 6 months out the year. Y'all good? No. I'm joking. Jeez. Of course I'm joking, man. I honestly and sincerely appreciate all of our teachers. Uh, when my wife and I feel like I can do that because she work in the school system too, and I tease her all the time and tell her you don't have a real job. You don't have to go to job. You don't have to go to work except half the time. And she always get upset about it, and she always give me the rundown of what she do, and so on and so forth. I said, Joyce, you baby, you just sit at the desk and chill out all day. I don't know. Listen, you know. And of course, that doesn't go so well. Sometimes it causes heated fellowship in our house. I appreciate all of our teachers, man. You the guys deserve more than what you get. Quite honestly, my wife has described to me the environment in our schools and what you guys have to deal with and put up with. And I will say that God has a calling for everybody, and teaching is not mine. And I couldn't do. If I had to, I could, but I'll say I would not want to do and put up with and deal with what you guys put up with and deal with. So thank God for all of our teachers. Y'all give all of our teachers a big, huge shout out, man. Let them know how much we love them. Look, I'm giving y'all some hearts on YouTube. Give y'all some hearts on YouTube. Let me see. I can't give y'all any hearts on Facebook, but all of my teachers just know I gave y'all some hearts on YouTube. We appreciate y'all, and we're praying for an amazing year for all of you guys, and that the Lord would sustain you through this school year. So don't jump on me, teachers. I was just joking. I appreciate all of y'all, and I thank God for what you guys do and how y'all pour into the lives uh, of our children. E- I'm not gonna say that. Listen, man, we've been doing you ask for it, your questions answered. You guys have been answering some great questions, asking some great questions. If you have questions, text the word ask to 985-260-8411. And if a question comes up as I'm teaching, man, see, y'all done got me in trouble. Y'all ain't tell me my wife was on here. Uh, see, y'all messy. If you have questions, text the word ask to 985-260-8411. Again, 985-260-8411 with your questions. Question of the day that I am going to try to answer. My in-laws have never fully accepted me. They're polite and pleasant, especially in front of my husband, but it's fake. I've tried to build a relationship, but it's clear I'm not their cup of tea. After years of rejection, I went to counseling and I've accepted that they may never like or accept me. I find comfort in knowing that God accepts me, and that's enough. We have a blended family. They've also never really accepted my child. My husband claims the child is his own, but they don't call, send gifts, visit. They do give gifts to the child that we have together. He's very close to his family and avoids confrontation with him. At my insistence, he tried speaking to his mom, but when confronted, she started crying and he backed off. He dismisses the lack of gifts, saying our kids don't need anything, yet he sends money and gifts to his siblings' kids, which bothers me. There it is. The situation has caused deep resentment towards my husband. Despite claiming I come first and he's my protector, his actions say differently. He often does things with his family separately from me and the kids. It's as though his family is his side piece. Wow. How do I move forward and let go of my resentment towards him and his family? I would say this to you, something that we'll just kind of work this, um, not necessarily in order. A couple of things that you say that jump out to me. How do I move forward? Uh, you say, despite claiming I come first and he's my protector, his actions say differently. Um, my first question would be, I don't hear in this unless I'm missing something where you are not coming first. The only way that you might arrive at the conclusion, from what I can see, that you are not coming first is if you've placed demands on him where this situation is concerned and he's not following those demands. Um, if you've told him to do certain things about this situation, like cut them off, or, and you do say that he goes places with them uh, separately from you and the kids. So maybe, and I'm assuming, but maybe you've expressed to him that you don't want to spend time around his family. And because you don't want to spend time around his family, you expect him not to. And because he does anyway, you come to the conclusion that you don't come first. Uh, Protecting you, again, don't see how he's not protecting you. Protecting you from what? What are you expecting him to protect you from? I don't see in here where they are bringing you any hurt. Well, I do see where they're bringing you hurt, but I don't see where they're bringing you harm. Uh, I would say to you the third thing. Um, Here's what I would say to you. In this situation, uh, number one, obviously you've talked to him about it. But at the same time, I would say understand what you're asking him for and ask yourself, uh, is what you're asking him for reasonable? Uh, are you asking him for something that's reasonable? In other words, I would have to know exactly what you want him to do. If you're asking him to totally cut his family off and not deal with them anymore because of how, because he has not bought your kids gifts or your kid gifts, and because they've not totally accepted you, Uh, I don't know that that's reasonable. Um, I don't know that that's reasonable. Now, if you could say to me that they've disrespected you in some way, if you could say to me that they've sought to hurt or harm you in some way, if you could say to me that they've looked to come after you in some way, then yes, he has to protect you. He's your husband. If you could say to me that they've tried to divide your family or bring disunity to your family, then I would say yes, he has to protect you. Um, I would have to know more about why you say they don't accept you. You say that they're cordial. You say that they treat you nice when he's around. Are there instances where he's not around, where they don't treat you the same way? What brings you to the conclusion that the way they treat you is fake? I would have to know more about what you're saying in order to give you advice. I could jump to conclusions. And most of the times when we have formats like this, people do exactly that. Look, I got people jumping to conclusions already. When you get married, leave your mama and cling to your wife. She never said that his mom is a priority over her. That we're jumping to conclusions. She never said that. She never said that because of his relationship with his mom and his other family, that her family's missing something. We're jumping to conclusions. Let's not do that. See, and that's what happens a lot of times. We cannot give advice without knowing the full story. It's a hurting feeling knowing that a husband is doing things without her and the kids with his family. Um, my wife does things with her family all the time without me. Come on. I do things with my family all the time without my wife. Listen, every she never said that she couldn't go with him. She never said that she was not allowed to go with him. She never said that his family does not want her around. Come on, somebody. See, you can't jump to confusion conclusion. I would agree. Treating the kids differently is definitely an issue. When it comes to that issue, my deal was always, and we've had that before, not with any malicious intent, but my deal was always, if you can't treat one, don't treat any of them. I mean, if you can't treat them all, don't treat any of them. That was always my deal. Now, on their birthdays, that's different because, and me, I tend to not pay attention to that stuff. I'm really not tracking who got a birthday gift from who and who didn't. That's just me. Maybe that's a man thing. Uh, maybe moms pay more attention to that. Uh, but I would have to know more. Here's what I can gather with reasonable certainty. And buckle up, okay? Here's what I can gather with reasonable certainty from what you wrote in. Well, let me say it this way. Uh, there's obviously an issue with him going to spend time with his family separately from you and the kids. That screams control to me. That screams control. And I would say again, never in the question did you say that that they were disrespectful. Never in what you wrote in did you say that they tried to create disunity in your family. Never in the question did you say that they tried to come between you and your husband or him and your kids. Unfairness, okay, yeah, I get that. But here's the thing. Um, and remember this. Um, you have to pick your battles where you and his family are concerned. Um, you cannot control how they treat the kid who is not biologically related to him. You cannot control whether or not they're super loving to you. I have some immediate, not immediate, but I have some family who are my blood. We are not the closest in the world. But does that mean that I demand that my other family not have dealings with them? No. My wife has some family. We are not the closest in the world. But does that mean, and I don't mean her immediate family. I have a very close relationship with her immediate family. But there's some extended family. We are not the closest in the world. It's not that we don't get along. I can't think of anybody in our family who I really don't get along with. We're just not close, some of us. Does that mean that she can't go hang out with them? No way. And it's the same thing from her on my side of the family. It's not that they don't get along, they're just not close. Just don't have that kind of relationship. And what I don't do is I don't expect her to have a distant relationship with them because I do. I don't do that. They listen, they have not crossed any lines. They have not disrespected the unit. They have not they have not done anything that would destroy the peace in my relationship and done any of that. We're just not close. And what I would feel bad about, let's just say it was the immediate family. I would feel bad because of those facts. I would feel bad saying to Joycelyn, if I don't go hang out with your family, you shouldn't go hang out with your family. If I don't fool with your mom and dad, you shouldn't fool with your mom and dad. Why would you feel bad about that, Pastor? Here's the reason why I would feel bad about that. Because I put myself in her shoes and I imagine the kind of stress, the kind of pressure, the kind of headache that it would create for me if, because her and my immediate family were not close. And again, it's not that they've done anything divisive or that they've tried to get in the way of our relationship or try to do something to destroy our family or anything like that, but we're just not close. I would feel they're cordial when they see me. They say hello. We're just not close. I can't imagine the stress and the pressure that it would put on me if she said to me that because they are not close, I can't be close with them. That because they don't, uh, that because they don't deal, that because I don't have a close relationship, I don't go around them. She can't. that because she doesn't, I can't. I wouldn't want her to do that. See, and I would encourage you to thank you, Kevin. I would encourage you to put yourself in your husband's shoes. I don't know what kind of relationship you have with your parents or with your immediate family, but just imagine if because he did not like the way they received him, because he did not like the way they dealt with him, if he said to you, you're wrong if you go spend time with them because I don't want to go spend time with them. Come on. You wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want her to do that to me. And so again, I'm answering based on what's been sent in. Here's what I do know. I I would not try to control my husband's relationship with his family. I would not try to control Joyce's relationship with her family. Now again, if there was disrespect, if there was an attempt at bringing disunity, if they had crossed those boundaries in some way, then I would expect her to say, hold on. If y'all can't respect him, hold on. If you guys can't if you guys can't respect what I've got going on as a family, then we rock and we roll as a family. If they had said, if you say to me, they had said you can't come around because they have a dislike for you, then I would have to say to your husband, we're one, and if she can't come around, we can't come around. But that's not the case here. This is a choosing. And so because you choose not to, you I don't it's not right that you expect him to choose not to. I will say this again. As far as the children go, uh, my message with my kids to everybody has always been you treat them all or you don't treat any of them. And if you can't treat any of them, then don't treat, if you can't treat all of them, don't treat any of them. And so that's always been my deal for the kids. Now, have I enforced that all the way? No. And you're talking to a guy who was in a who's in a blended family, and there have been instances where, not out of any maliciousness or anything like that, where the gifts were not equal. But at that point, I have to ask myself, do I want to make a deal out of this? Is this worth the peace and unity in my family? Is this worth the peace and unity in my relationship? The answer is no, it's not. It is not. And so you got to think about that. So what do I do, Pastor? How do I not resent them? You got to let it go. You have to let it go. You got to release that. You know, is let me ask you this: is making this demand worth the unity that you have with your husband? Is having control over his relationship with his family worth disturbing the peace? I don't I don't see where it is. I don't see where it is. As far as him being your protector, can you point to other areas where he's not your protector? Is this the only instance? Uh, See, here's what happens a lot of times, and I want you to really evaluate that, because what happens a lot of times, we find one area where they're not as good as we would like them to be, right? And we focus in on that area. And if you can say, here are the other ways that he's not protecting me, then you can arrive at the conclusion that he's not being a good protector. But if in every other way he's protecting you, I would say, if it's 80% good and 20% bad, then you might be focused on the 20% bad a little too much. Are you with me? Nobody's going to be perfect. Nobody's going to get it all right. But can you really say that he's not your protector? He claims I come first. I don't see in here where he's not putting you first. I do see, and I'm going to say this very lovingly, I do see where he probably not allowing you to control him. And if not controlling him means that he's not putting you first, if that's how you translate that, even to him, I would say that that's not a failure on his part, but you might want to look at whether or not it's manipulation on yours. See, here's the thing. Don't use what God expects from him as a husband to manipulate him into what you want. Come on, somebody. Don't use protector and you coming first, which are expectations from God, to manipulate him to stay under your control. Hello, somebody. That's what this sounds like to me. You don't have the best relationship with his family, and I would have to know more about why. What's your role in that? How many times has this gift thing happened? I don't know. Did it just happen once and you're choosing to hold on to that one instance? I have to know more. I have to know more. I don't have to know more. I have to know more in order to effectively answer the question. Um, and then, have you decided, because of that one instance, that you're no longer fooling with them and expect him to decide the same? Is this a case where you're not extending grace? So you expect him to not have any grace? I don't see in here where he is not your protector or he's not putting you first. And I would discourage you from, it sounds like to me that you've chosen to not deal with them. And I'm not saying you're not justified in it, because I don't know. But you've chosen to not. I just don't hear the justification, is all I'm saying. And it sounds like to me because you have chosen to not deal with him, with them. You want him to do the same. And you cannot, I'm gonna say this again to you very lovingly, but very sincerely. You cannot use what God expects of him, what you know are legitimate expectations from God of him, as a way to manipulate him into your control. If he goes to spend time with his family and you choose not to, then don't be mad about that. They have not disrespected you. They've not spread any disunity or anything like that in your household. Don't be mad about that. Tell him have a good time, baby. See you when you get back. Don't try to control him. If he chooses to send them gifts, their kids gifts, as you say, and you know, and you don't want to send them gifts, if it's not taking anything away from your household, don't try to manipulate him into your control by using what God expects of him as a husband. And so the way you let go of that resentment is put yourself in his shoes. Would you want him demanding that you not deal with your family because he chooses not to? I don't think you would want that. Well, my family hadn't done what his family has done. My family hadn't. Hey, listen. Even if they had, you would have to admit that it would put you in quite the situation, tough situation, and you would not want him demanding that he separate from that you separate from your family. And if you wouldn't want that from him, then don't make those demands of him. I would say again, if this was about them crossing the lines and creating disrespect and disunity in your household, that would be different. But that's not what this is about, as far as I can see. And again, I may need to know more in order to fully understand the question. It sounds like I don't have all of the details, but based on the question that you sent in, that's the advice I would give. Let it go. Enjoy your family. Oh, don't let this be an issue between you and your husband. If he's a good man outside of this, come on. And you may need to let it go and extend an olive branch towards his family. That might do your that'll probably do your husband a whole lot of good. You know, release it. You don't know what their relationship with the Lord is, but you do know what God expects from you. Mm. If you're a believer, He expects you to forgive. If you're a believer, he expects you to love others when you don't like how they loving you. So the Jesus in you ought to make you go over there on Christmas. Whoo! Or at least not trip when he goes. Come on, somebody. That's what Christians are supposed to do, right? Aren't we supposed to, because of the love of Jesus in our hearts, aren't we supposed to be able to love others when they're not loving us? When are you more like Christ? And when you're able to love your enemies, how do you let go of the resentment? By being kind, by praying for them. Come on. By asking the Lord to bless them. I dare you to ask God to bless them. I dare you to pray for them and ask God to bless them. I'm praying for you, whoever you are. Uh, Hope that there's healing and unity brought to this relationship. I know some of y'all don't agree with me, but hey, I'm not going to jump to conclusions and I'm not going to veer away from what the Word of God says. Uh, that's just what it is. Uh, if you have questions, text the word ask to 985-260-8411. There you go. Thank you. Forgive. Forgive. It'll relieve a lot of stress for you. Huh? I know I got some witnesses to that. So I love y'all. Y'all have an amazing day, man. We've stayed too long already. If you got questions, text the word ASK to 985-260-8411. I've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit that share button. If you're on Facebook, give us that thumbs up. On YouTube, send somebody that link. Uh, and God bless y'all. And if it's the Lord's will, see y'all tomorrow morning on Jumpstart Live. Y'all have an amazing hump day in the meantime. God bless you.